Hello.
Hi there.
Welcome back
Hello
to
there.
the Nosebleed section, episode number 23. I'm your host, Bryce. On the other side, we got my co-host, Doug. And below us, we got my baby brother, Brock.
Baby brother.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And for anyone who doesn't know these two fine gentlemen, Brock used to be like Bryce and Brock, and now it's Brock and Bryce.
Height-wise,
In terms
yeah.
of height. Oh, I shouldn't have.
That's what I was gonna say.
That was weird that I did that. I'm sorry, but kind of.
All right,
Any
we might want to
normal
restart
person would. Should we start a new record?
that.
Well, I have known you guys for a long time, so any normal person would have just done this, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go.
And you're
like
going
this.
like this.
Jeez.
We've never had to restart.
Oh, we're not restarting. This
Oh,
is all for the
nah.
fans.
It's all the
If you're one of the 20 listening or watching, you're welcome.
Anyways, episode 23.
Brother.
Doug is going to quiz us on the 23s. It's
Oh.
probably not going to be Michael Jordan or LeBron James. What else you got, Doug?
Well,
Good Lord.
yeah, I could have, but well, let's see
Ugh.
here. The best 23s of all time. So here's what we're gonna do. I'll give you a clue, and then I'll give you 5 seconds, and then I'll give another clue every 5 seconds. And whoever can say it first wins. We'll go first.
Okay.
We'll go first to 3 points. How about?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Do it.
Running back.
You guys just blew
Retired.
stuff up. Ronnie Brown? No.
I'll let you know when you say the correct one. One of his teams was the Raiders.
Oh, boy.
Began his career in 2007.
What?
Jesus.
Also
What?
played for the Seahawks.
Oh, boy.
He loves a particular kind of candy.
Marshawn Lynch was 23.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Really?
No, he was not 23.
Well,
I
let
thought he
me
was
Google it.
27.
I used this. Wow,
We're going to
this
have
is-
to restart.
This is gonna be.
That's what I
this
was
is gonna
like. I
be
didn't know
real
Marshawn
sad.
Lynch was.
Oh my gosh, he wore 24. Did I
Yeah.
type 24?
24.
Wrong? Did I type 23 in the box? No, it says athletes who wore 23.
He might have
Wow.
wore. Was he at Buffalo? 23.
Oh, good question. Let's check.
He might have been at Buffalo.
For the Bills, he was 23. Nice, Brock.
Yeah.
I think you should get an extra point for that.
God damn! Give me the point.
Man.
Point
Yeah,
for
he
Brock.
wore 24 for the Seahawks and the Raiders, but yeah, he was 23.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the Buffalo.
There you
Well,
go. Nicely done.
Spoiler for next week's.
Yeah, no kidding. First player to get on too. All right, next one. Basketball. Active player. Has played for the 76ers.
Has played for Robert Covington. No, that's 33.
Ooh, I'm trying to. 4-time All-Star. There's one clue that might give it away.
Four-time All-Star. Has played for the
Has played for
Andre
the
Iguodala?
Timberwolves. Has played for the Timberwolves.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler is correct.
Oh, jeez. I said Andre Iguodala. Jesus.
He's number 9.
All
You
right,
just start thinking
1-1.
of random people.
Yeah. 1-1. Football player.
I suck at football. I can't.
Retired. You'll know that. You'll know this guy.
I guess he's a corner.
4-time Pro Bowler. NFL record 20 career kickoff returns for a touchdown.
Devin.
Oh,
Hester.
Devin.
Oh.
I was saying
Also
it. Let
had
it go.
has the
I
NFL
was-
record 14 punt return touchdown. This is I don't know when this site updated. It looks a little old, but
I didn't even think about him right away until you said that.
All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Basketball player.
It's in my
Active.
wheelhouse.
Has played for 2 teams. I'm not going to tell you the teams. It would give it away right away.
LeBron James.
Yeah, no. I mean,
He has 3 actually.
Anthony
yeah.
Davis. Anthony
yes,
Davis.
Anthony Davis.
Oh my God.
All right. The next one
His
wins.
teammate.
Please be NBA because I'll win.
I'm trying to find one that I think would be like even playing field for the two of you. I think this one is. All right. For the win, football player. Sorry, Bryce.
Oh, I'm screwed.
Beginning his career in 2005. Fourth most rushing yards in NFL history. Wow, I didn't know that.
With
At least-
Damian Thomason?
Nope.
LT?
No, he was 21. Are you talking about
Oh.
Adrian Peterson at some team other than the Vikings?
Nope.
Fourth all
Fourth all time.
Let me look up his
Yes.
teams because I think he played for a number of teams, especially towards the end of his career.
Frank Gore.
Ooh, you got it.
I was just about to say Frank.
You
Gore,
got it.
too.
That was
Damn.
kind of a hint on its own, but
I had to think of somebody that was old that would have that many
Yeah.
yards.
Yeah.
that's crazy. Again, I don't know how
People
legit
forget.
this site is.
Yeah. People forget that he has that many rushing yards too.
Well,
Isn't
because
he
he played
most-
forever. He's like
Mhm.
one of the enigmas at running back who played. It's like,
Isn't his most
38
famous
years old.
number though like 21 and
21.
20?
21.
Oh, is it? Okay. Again,
21 is the 49ers.
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. This is
Um,
a picture of him with the Colts having 23.
Yeah. You know what's crazy for him is that he wasn't even like when he came out, he like had this ACL pretty much
Uh-huh.
tore up, and he wasn't even supposed to make it in the league.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, there we go.
Bryce
still
won 3
undefeated.
to 2. There you go.
Still undefeated.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Um,
look for a different website. That was last time too, and I get in the heat of the moment and stuff when we played with Patrick, and it said Clyde Drexler played for the Rockets, and I was just in the heat of the moment and didn't even. I'm like, oh yeah, he definitely played for more than just the Rockets. I'm an idiot. But,
So
Yeah.
go to like basketball reference or baseball reference. They'll tell you all the jersey numbers they ever wore too.
nice.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure they got that for football. So
I'm honestly.
Anyways.
lazy. I just typed in famous athletes to wear 23 and clicked the very first one and went with it.
Yeah.
All right.
real quick, we'll talk some NBA since we didn't talk about it last episode. Jordan just sold the Hornets. Speaking of number 23,
There you go. Yep.
sold it for $3 billion. He will not be remembered much.
not as an owner or manager of a team. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
he almost owned the Bucks. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
He almost when was that? I think it was the TJ Ford draft, and he wanted to make the selections before like finalizing that he was purchasing the Bucks, and they're like, no, you're
Yeah.
not our owner yet. And so he backed out of the whole deal.
Of course. Wow, I didn't know that.
But for real, if he was almost the Bucks new owner back in the early 2000s or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, anyways, still no major trades or anything like that for Dame and James Harden.
Yeah. And it sounds like
Math-
those are going to be a while.
Yeah, Wes Matthews has got a new home.
Yeah,
in
I saw
Atlanta.
that.
Io DeSumo, I put him in here because I thought maybe there's a slight 2% chance the Bucks could get him.
Yeah,
He's back with the Bulls.
I really wanted the Bucks to go after him, but they would have had to have like traded away
Yeah,
Connaughton basically to clear up the space for that. So I didn't.
and
think
he's
it was happening,
he's
but-
also a hometown kid, so
yeah. Because
he probably wasn't going to leave.
He played in Illinois, right?
Yeah, he played at Illinois and everything.
Yeah.
And then the Kings got a big man, Nerlens Noel. Other than that, no other new NBA news. I thought we'd just throw a few things in here since we hadn't talked about them.
Yeah, we're still waiting to find out what the Bucks are going to do with final roster spot.
Yeah.
I honestly, I feel like if they were going to sign Thanasis, they would have done it by now.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't make the
You know?
team. I still think they're just waiting for a few dominoes to fall trades wise, and then they're gonna go get a point guard.
Yeah, there's no rush now, especially now that summer league's
Yeah.
over, and so yeah. But
Baseball. The more exciting stuff is really the Brewers in my mind. The Rays are no longer in the top of the East after they had like a historic start to the season.
yeah,
They've actually been slumping quite a bit. They have a lot of injuries, but the Baltimore Orioles, who honestly, you're seeing all the talent the Brewers have right now, bringing all these young outfielders up and everybody else. The Baltimore Orioles have like two at every position, and they're still a great team. So
man, they don't even have 40 losses yet. Well,
No.
I know the Braves don't, but I only knew that because we just played them. But, man,
And honestly, the Orioles are only going to get better because they could take a guy from. You guys pick some other team. You guys pick who you want, and honestly, they could land Shohei easy and not hurt their future.
Their farm system's that good, do you think?
It is. They pretty much have two guys at every position besides pitching. And they got some good young pitchers, but they haven't been doing very good this year. So, yeah, AL East is crazy. I mean,
yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now.
Yankees
the
fans
Red Sox
right now
are in last at 52 and 47.
Yeah, they'd be right behind us for the Central.
Yeah,
I think they'd probably be in
nuts.
first place in AL Central. So,
I mean, I think everyone kind of predicted that was going to be one of the stronger divisions in baseball, anyways. But just seeing, and it's not going to look like this probably come postseason time, but maybe. But the fact that the Yankees and Red Sox are last in their division.
Well,
yeah.
the thing is
53 and 52 points. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, I listened to some Yankees podcast, and they're like a couple games worse than the Brewers, and I am like head over heel about the Brewers right now. They're like, let's sell a team, sell anything but good. We're done. Which
because it's like,
oh my God,
all hope is lost because
yeah. So, another thing with Sam. Oh, sorry, my screen just locked up. Yeah, there hasn't been any major trades yet. Usually, baseball trades that's like right on the deadline. So
yeah,
I know speaking of Baltimore, they went out and got a guy in the bullpen from the Oakland A's. And then I think the Cardinals ended up trading one of their lefty pitchers to the Blue Jays. But other than that, no trades there yet.
deadline is August 1st for anyone wondering. So not coming Tuesday, but the following. So you got about a week yet.
Yeah. The big MLB stuff I want to talk about was obviously our Brewers.
Yeah, it's not even being a homer right now. We're like the most fun team in baseball right now, to be honest.
Well, we have the best record in July, and we've been playing some really good teams. They just finished up today. Unfortunately, they lost the series to Atlanta, but they went 3-3 at Philly and against Atlanta. So, I mean, that's the worst I wanted to do was 3-3.
Yeah, if you can go 500 against the Braves, that's honestly like you'll take that with this roster.
Yeah. The biggest game was game 2 against the Braves here. Yeah.
This guy.
Freaking Frelick.
There we go. Wow.
Dude.
There we go.
I knew he was going to be good. I said we could probably trade him straight up, maybe with a lower end prospect for Shohei, but I really don't want to, especially after that game.
Honestly, you could probably after that, but
yeah, I don't want to though. Honestly,
no,
he's such a good ball player. He's like a young Christian Yelich. Honestly, he hits the ball for contact. He's got some good power and plays pretty good defense.
I mean, obviously, he's not going to play like defensively. He's not going to play like he did the other day. But I mean,
yes, he is though. He's a true center fielder.
He's better than Yelich in the field.
Well, Yelich is also in his 30s now, but when Yelich was in Miami, he was making these kind of plays.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's a really good comparison. And he's a good contact hitter. He's got good speed.
I mean, he lit it up in the minors, so we'll see. But
yeah, he won us the game, and he's not even our top ranked prospect at his position.
I would say even let alone in the team at his position.
Yeah, bright future for the Brewers there.
Do you think Jackson Chourio gets brought up before the deadline or because of the deadline?
He might not even be brought up at all this year, to be honest.
You think it's going to be another year?
I do, because he's only a teenager, so.
Yeah. He kind of seems like the guy, too, where it's like, he's got all this high, and you've seen that with some of these guys, like your top 10 guys in the farm systems that are especially super young, where they're like, some teams just love to say they have a top 5, top 10 prospect, but not ever bring him up until like a year after. So I could legitimately see him in the opening day lineup next season if he's still, within our roster.
Well, the thing is, we have Christian Yelich. Garrett Mitchell will be back. And he's our starting center fielder. We have Joey Weimer, who would probably be our starting right fielder. Honestly, they might just be DHing Christian Yelich and let him play once every 4 games.
Yeah.
Because right now their DH sucks, which I'll get to here in a minute. But they're I mean, Blake Perkins has been playing really good. He's playing center field right now. I mean, we have like 6 guys that can play outfield and played it really well. So
So you got this talking trade all the way back to the JJ Hardy days.
Yeah, so I was gonna get to that in a second. I
can't wait to
wanted-
hear this.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
So after this series, I was wondering if anything has changed on what we need now. Because last episode I was talking maybe we should go get an outfielder or some bullpen, but now our bullpen's like stellar. I still think maybe we should add a starter / reliever because injuries are going to happen, and then I think we should go get corner infielder still, but I don't think we should get an outfielder at all. I mean, if anything, like you said, bring up Cheerio. You're not going to get anything better than him, and then you got a lot of guys coming back from injury.
And that's like that's a worst case scenario having to bring up Cheerio, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
right.
if
pitching wise, Woodruff's coming back. Miley's gonna be back.
Yeah.
The big thing in the pen, we only got one lefty, but Justin Wilson, who we signed in the offseason, he's kind of like a veteran left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. He wouldn't be bad. We'll see coming off injury. A lot of people are wondering if we're gonna get Suter or Hader back, which I don't know.
I've heard
honestly
both, but you hear a lot of rumors before the deadline. So,
and speaking of Hader, onto the JJ Hardy trade tree. So back in 2001,
good days. Yeah, good days.
2001. I was 4 years old.
we drafted JJ
6.
Hardy in 2001, in the second round, and then I think it was 2009. We ended up trading him for Carlos Gomez, and I think it was we got a compensation round pick or whatever, and we picked Mike Fiers with that. So pretty much we turned JJ Hardy into Carlos Gomez and Fiers.
Okay.
So the tree is really weird. So I'm trying to understand how this goes. Then, if you remember, we traded Carlos Gomez. We almost traded him to the Mets for Zach Wheeler and Wilmer Flores. And Wilmer Flores. We did, but we almost made that deal. Yeah. We ended up making a secondary trade
to the Rangers.
And everybody to the Astros.
Oh, that's right.
For Adrian Hauser, Domingo Santana, Josh Hader, and Brett Phillips.
Wow.
Do you remember Brett Phillips?
Yeah.
He had that goofy laugh.
Yeah.
And then Domingo Santana was actually really good for a few years.
He had a couple good years with us. Yep.
Yeah. And then we turned Brett Phillips into Mike Moustakas.
Okay.
And we got a pick somehow. It was Jorge Lopez, who is a closer for he's injured right now, but he's actually a closer in baseball.
Okay.
Then we traded Domingo Santana for Ben Gamel and Noah Zavalis, who I believe is still Gamel. Yeah, he's got that long beard.
Yep.
Then we ended up trading Josh Hader for Taylor Rogers, Dinelson Lamet, Esteury Ruiz, and Robert Gasser, which Dinelson Lamet basically put a Brewers hat on, and then we released him. Esteury Ruiz ended up getting flopped. He never played for the Brewers. He's actually leading. I think he's right behind Acuna in steals, but he's hurt right now. He's on Oakland A's. But we ended up getting William Contreras, Yoel Payamps, and Justin Yeager for him. So on the current roster, we have still from the J.J. Hardy tree, William Contreras, our starting catcher, Yoel Payamps, our setup man, Robert Gasser, who's I don't know if you guys know Jacob Mizorowski. He's like our top pitching prospect. He's basically the right-handed Hader of the future. Yeah. This guy's like right behind him. He's a really good lefty. And then this Justin Yeager. I honestly don't know who he is, and I know our farm system pretty well. So, but yeah, I'd say we did pretty good. I'd say we did pretty good because back in the day,
a 22-year trade tree.
Yeah, Brock, I remember our dad being pretty upset that we let JJ Hardy go because we had a really good team and
yeah.
But all you had to say was, Dad, in 22 years, this is going to pay dividends.
I mean, though, really throughout the years, Brett Phillips was a really good player for us.
I mean, after all those deals, I don't think we lost any of those deals. At least not.
No,
I mean, without looking into stats and stuff.
Brett Phillips is almost out of the league, and Moustakas helped us with.
Moustakas was great
for the playoff run. Adrian Hauser's still on the team. I mean, he had a career high in strikeouts in that Sal Frelick game.
Yeah.
William Contreras is one of the best catchers in the league right now. And then Yoel Payamps is our setup man.
Okay, I don't know him. Is that actually how you pronounce his name?
Yoel Piamps. Yep.
Piamps.
So it goes Pagero, Piamps, and then Williams for the 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Or Hobie Milner if there's a bunch of lefties up. So
Man.
yeah. The Brewers, they always make a questionable move, but it ends up being the right move long term. 95% of the time, as far as I can tell. So
yeah.
There's your JJ Hardy trade tree. It's really hard to understand it too, but
Yeah, I knew about
kinda
two
sucked.
people there.
well, it kind of sucks that Taylor Rogers was that big lefty piece we got back for Hader. He was closer and then he left. He's actually on the Giants with his twin brother closing games, so that's pretty cool. But
with his
him,
oh, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
Taylor and Tyler Rogers.
I saw that on SportsCenter. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sal Frelick was the talk of SportsCenter after his
Oh, he should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Real quick, I guess
actually.
now we got the Reds again, who we've been
Big series again.
kicking the crap out of them this year. So hopefully we can keep that
we'll
going.
see.
I hope they just swept the Diamondbacks. So
Ellie
kind of
Cruz went 0 for 12 in the last series.
the Reds, honestly, besides the Brewers, they're winning almost every series and winning at a high rate. So
yeah,
they're coming back, and then we got the Atlanta Braves again. So 2 big series again. So
yeah, the next couple weeks and then Washington, but then we got Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is trash now.
Yeah, it's just division rival though. I feel like those.
And Washington's actually been playing
cool
pretty good. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, interesting time. It's we'll see. So far, knock on wood, that the All-Star break has not crushed us yet. That's usually the Brewers' Achilles heel when we're having a exciting team and exciting seasons. Like, well, here's the All-Star break. You guys are back to mediocrity afterwards. But
honestly, we kind of hit a stride after the All-Star break. So
yeah. Do you want to do product of the week real quick? I know I didn't even talk about it in our pre-show Snapchats, but
you kind of keep that a secret these days. So
yeah, well, I forgot last week. I was like, oh, we'll do our product of the week, and then I was like, nope, never mind. Unless someone else has something.
Brock,
I do not.
You got products? No? Okay.
Nope.
I got a product that we use quite frequently now that I really like, and I don't got a name for it. It's just those tiny little fans for babies. You ever use those?
No, I don't have a baby. I don't have a baby.
That's true. Well, yeah, maybe for the dog. He's a little guy. I don't know. So they're made for like strollers and stuff. But like it's just like a little fan, probably about this big, and it sits on like a tripod thing. But the tripod, it's got like legs that are flexible, and you can turn them and twist them and stuff, and you can prop them up anywhere you want and stuff. And my daughter is her daddy's girl. She sweats when she's in her car seat. So having that fan on there, it's nice. She likes it.
I was somewhere once and some lady had a stroller and she had that point in the stroller and then like had one of them light little blankets around the stroller and you could just see I was like, oh, I wish I was in there. There was no wind. It was like 1,000% humidity that day and the sun was beating on you. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, we were somewhere one night and it was pretty warm. I was like, yeah, I'll get that fan out for her. And as soon as I turn it on, she just goes, it like lights up. And also like she loves the feeling when she's got kind of long hair actually for being not even 8 months old, but her hair like flutters a lot in the front because she's got kind of long hair and like we always like blow at her hair and she like thinks it's funny when her hair like flows because she can feel it. So she loves when that fan's turned on and just makes her hair flow like a little model.
We get it, Doug. You got a cute kid.
I mean, she looks like me. What do you expect?
Oh boy,
minus the beard. You know, she looks like baby me, which is a compliment.
She looks like baby Leanne.
If you saw pictures, you might not.
I don't know, Doug. I think you're a fugly baby.
No, I'm not even. Nope, that's not true. True. I don't know. I mean, most people would be like, yeah, maybe.
I think if Ruth was on here, she's like, she has to rank her babies. I think you would easily be.
No, she would absolutely be number one. There's no question. Oh, you guys have been to my house a million times. You know the wall. You know the
Exactly.
wall. Yeah.
That's why we're saying this.
It's like all the lights in the house just reflect towards me because they just know. I was a Gerber baby, man. Oh,
It goes Leanne, Tim, the
You
dog,
rank them.
the dog, the cat, the horse,
Yeah, the horse.
Cody, Doug.
Willie was very cute as a baby.
Exactly.
The horse, yeah.
An Oreo and all your pets. I miss your pets.
Oh, me too. Me too. All right.
Not to bring up a. Never mind.
Oh, go ahead. Let's
I
hear
couldn't remember what your dog's name.
Tucker.
Oh yeah,
Tucker.
my childhood dog Tucker. Yep. And then
couldn't
Willie the
remember.
horse, Oriole the cat, they're all gone now.
I just remember
R.I.P.
Orlando Tuckers. The only way I remember that.
That's why I named him that.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I was obsessed with Orlando Tucker, but like that was when he played for the Badgers, and the Badgers were pretty good that year. And they said
That's why your dog couldn't make a free throw.
Yeah, he was no Air Bud. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, well, there you go. Product of the week. If you got a little one or a tiny dog, I'm telling you, bro, you might like it.
He's just trying to survive. Take one day at a time.
Yeah, he's getting up there. But yeah, those little fans, and I got it for like $20 on Amazon. They're nice. So yeah, there you go. Let's talk some NFL here. I'm curious on your guys' opinion on this. Big debate in the sports world right now. NFL running backs. To pay or not to pay? Do they have a toupee? Who knows?
Do they have a yarmulke?
Maybe.
Personally, I think they should be on like a 2-year contract at the most and just pay them high end.
I'm glad you said that. That was like my initial thought, because like people are talking about like, how can the NFL Players Association help this? Okay. And I was like, and I don't know how you do it, but that was my initial thought, was like, okay, their rookie contracts are max 2 years or maybe 3 years with exceptions like games played and things like that. But I'm glad you said that.
I think they should have a lot more options, like 2 years, and then a 2-year team option or player option, more likely. I don't know.
Yep.
But if you do that for just the running backs, they would have to probably do that for all positions at that point. So that's where it'd probably get tricky, especially for like the quarterbacks. Then they'd get big time paid after only 2 years.
They should just pay them more money on lesser year contracts, and I think everybody would be happy.
Yeah, I mean but owners don't do it. 2 years is a long time when you're talking, like these guys like Zeke, who didn't get paid, who's past his prime. Even like so the biggest two, arguably three with Austin Eckler, is Josh Jacobs and Saquon. Yeah, and it's like obviously Josh Jacobs
and Pollard too.
Pollard did sign his franchise tender, but
I mean, at that point, you're almost forced to.
Yeah, because he hasn't been the dude in his career yet, so he's like, well, I'm going to take my $10 million and just play, which I don't blame him one bit. I mean, $10 million for the franchise tag for a guy who this will be his first year as the incumbent starter. Like, yeah, it's a good gig either way for him. But I don't because Jacobs had a great year, but and like Saquon had a pretty good year too. But it's like, dude, you're great, but you're always injured. Yeah. And with Josh Jacobs, like, yeah, you had a great year, but you've never been this good. And now you're another year older.
I think the biggest thing too with the running backs is that you can get such a good one. I mean, look at the Texans ones. What's his name again? I forget his.
Damian Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce. Yeah. He was what, a 6th or some 5th round pick.
He was a day 3 pick, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get so much productivity out of that compared to paying a guy $60 million and then tearing his ACL. I could see both. I see both both sides of it, but yeah, it's tough.
It's probably the most least talent. This is gonna sound mean. Most least talented position in football. You know what I mean?
I would say that. I would say like so many teams too are moving to a 2-back system, 3-back system even, that they don't want to overpay for that one person when they're going to even take half the snaps. So
it's kind of like the template now is to get your bruiser, the dude who's just going between the tackles, and then your scat,
scat back,
your scat receiving back. Yep. Guy who can hit home runs.
Is it not having a fullback anymore? Does that affect this, you think?
I mean, I thought about that a little bit too. Fullbacks, like that was originally the running back of football. Like fullbacks got the ball.
Right. That was your 2 yards ago on the goal line
guy. I can't, don't quote me on this because it's just funny that you brought that up. And I remember listening to a podcast and they were talking about this. I'm pretty sure he said the fullback with the most carries last season was TJ Watt with TJ, right? Derek. I'm sorry. Jeez. Derek.
TJ is the guy that beats up the Bengals.
That's incredible. Yeah. And he had like 8 or 9 carries.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, if you look at it, there's only like 4 or 5 like fullbacks that actually get used every game in the NFL.
Right.
That's why a lot of people just don't even have one on their roster anymore because they can use it for another cornerback, another safety, whatever. You know?
Yeah, or like the Packers. I mean, they use a tight end like Josiah DeGuara. I was like, Otherwise, they're just like, well, AJ Dillon, you're a big bastard. You just back for this play. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's a mix. I think it's a mixture of everything. The running back situation. So it's like you get so much out of like these late round picks, and they're so much cheaper. Mm-hmm. But then, you want to pay them, but you don't want to pay them too much. And that, I think it's a mixture of things.
Well, okay, so we'll ask you this then: to pay or not to pay? Would you, either of you, pay? Let's say, I think like 13-ish was kind of the number for Saquon, 13.5. I don't know what it was, but would you pay Saquon?
If I was in the Giants situation and knowing he is our whole offense, then yes, I would, because he literally is their whole offense. Yeah. Jacobs is different because I feel like the Raiders are weird though. They're like in a rebuild, yet they're not in a rebuild at the same time. Yeah. So it's like, but Saquon, I don't know. But yeah, Saquon missed a whole year from being injured. So it's like I could see both parties.
Yeah. Bryce?
I mean, I'm kind of upset with how much the Bengals pay Joe Mixon, but I want him on the team.
Didn't he just take a pay cut?
He did, but he's still making a decent amount of money. It's like, I mean, I guess he's also not Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
And the Giants also don't have the Bengals wide receiving core, so it probably here's $15 million this year. It's just,
well, that's the thing. He doesn't want just this year. He wants
Yeah, they're not. 3 years. And that's the thing with the running backs too. They don't want short-term deals.
Yeah, because they know that they have. Yeah.
Yeah, my anecdote with the whole 2-year rookie contracts, they probably wouldn't like that either.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard. Tough. You got to separate emotions from it too. You really do. And it's like, didn't the Giants originally offer Saquon like 16 or something during season and he turned it down? Am I remembering that right?
I remember they offered him a pretty good contract.
They offered him significantly more than what the negotiations are now.
I don't remember, to be honest.
But so I mean, his agent's kind of like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah. But if I was in the Giants situation, I think if Saquon was not on the team, that team would not be good. That offense would not be good.
You're probably right, but in another sense, it's like if he does great this year, fine. But like you gotta, I think it's at least a 3-year deal. I would think that he's gonna accept.
That's why I'm like, it's a toss up for me.
Yeah. I don't want Saquon in 2 years.
Yeah.
I'd love him this year, and like you ain't gonna trade him with that contract.
Yeah. I think if it was a 2-year contract and you can like bump it up a lot, then I'd say it's worth it. But yeah, once you get to like 3-4 years, it's tough.
Why can't you just say, Saquon, here's 2 years, 40 mil. Shut up and just take it.
Because he knows that the running back, like in the NFL, has a 4-year, 5-year lifespan, and so they want the most amount of money, guaranteed money for the time they know that they're going to have.
Okay, but let's say like a normal contract, like 3-year, 50, but he's going to get 2-year, or not even 3 years. You could make so much in those 2 years that, well, there's almost half of what I'd be making.
Like 2 years, 30 guaranteed, or 2 years, 28 guaranteed. I mean, he'd probably do that just because it's guaranteed, but the only way you're getting a longer term deal is with like exceptions with health and games played and rushing yards. And I mean, I think that's kind of another thing you got to put into it too is, like it's got to be specific within the contract of you meeting these certain qualifications of like because that was the thing with the Hopkins deal. I think there was like can earn up to this, and that's a lot of deals now. It's like with incentives you can earn up to this. So, I mean,
just the NFL as a whole, their contracts are just the most confusing thing.
Yeah,
like baseball. Baseball, you get a guy for 6 years. He's got 4 years of team control, and then he's got 2 years of 2 years of arbitration, and then he's a free agent. And then you just pay him for 10 years and a shit ton of money. The NBA, you have him for them 4 years or whatever, and then the NFL's like, oh, there's this going on and this going on, and I don't ever know what anybody's making besides the quarterbacks, and even then, it's confusing to me.
Here's the thing. They're expendable, and that's just the truth. And you get talent immediately right out the gate with a good chunk of them coming out of college. And a lot of times running backs are at their prime as rookies. I mean, like legit, this year could be Bijan Robinson's best NFL season. Zeke was an absolute stud as a rookie. Like these things happen. And usually year 2-3 is probably about, where most guys hit their prime, like the stud running backs. But I mean, so like, I don't know if you guys knew, like, I think it was today or yesterday, Josh Jacobs and Saquon like hosted like a Zoom collectively and invited like basically all NFL. I don't know if they invited all NFL running backs, but it was a Zoom call for NFL running backs.
Yeah.
Eckler was on there. Nick Chubb was on there. I think Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, like those guys were all reported to be on this Zoom call. And it's like, I mean, I feel you guys. I get it. It sucks. You guys get the crap beat out of you. That's your job.
Yeah.
You are so valuable to your offenses. It's just, you're not gonna, I don't see kids in high school and in college like straying away from being running backs because of like potential future contract disputes.
Oh yeah, no.
Running backs are in high school and in college. Like if you're the running back, you're the dude. Like you're the guy. Like more often than not in high school, and maybe aside from like around where we're from, but like the best player on your team is typically a running back. This is beyond the quarterback. So like, it doesn't matter what you can do. It's like, oh, he's the best athlete on the team. Put him at running back.
Yeah, that's why Brock wasn't a running back.
That's why they did not play me.
You were quarterback
for half a season.
Quarterback.
Anywho, but yeah, I agree. It sucks for them because I get where they're coming from. Like we want what we're like, we get just shit beat out of us. But I also see the executive side of things like, yeah, well, it's going to come around and sooner or later you're going to get hurt, So it's like, I can see both parties. I don't think there is a win-win situation at all. So I think it's going to keep on going.
I think the rookie contract should just be the biggest contracts then. Plain and simple.
Yeah, there's got to be something. It's got to be something from the league office where they make a change, because I don't think owners are just going to have a change of heart. Like that's the reason we're in this scenario.
I mean, you got to look at it too, because it's the GM's job too on the line if they give a crappy deal and they end up getting hurt. It's like they're looking out for their own job too.
Saquon leaves and just lights it up for the next 3 years with another team.
Right.
So like I get that. I was like looking on Bleacher Report and stuff today, and like you read these comments, and I hate the whole like, well, if they're complaining for making $10 million to play a game, it's like, shut up. Do you watch the NFL? Okay, you have no right to tell these guys that they should be angry about how much money they're making because they play a game when you watch that game. Like, I hate those arguments of, well, professional athletes make too much money. It's like, do you watch it? Because you're paying them as you watch it. So
and they have to pay for so much. I don't want to get into that argument.
I know. That's probably a rabbit hole I don't need to go down today. But like the owners of these old rich white guys who make, like, you think these athletes make a lot? The old rich white guys are signing their checks.
Yeah.
Their wallet. So like, it's a product, and that's what it is. But like these guys, the money that they are asking for, they do truly deserve it. There's no questioning that. It's just forming a team all around that when it's like, okay, this other guy could probably make do 75% of what you can do for us for like
Mm-hmm.
a fraction of the cost. And at that point, it's like, I would probably just draft a higher round rookie and a day 1 or 2 rookie and just, but it sucks. And you can't just say, well, I would pay him or I would pay this guy. It's like, it's all situational. Like we just said, like with Saquon, yeah, he's their offense. So probably pay him. Josh Jacobs, I don't think I'd pay him.
It's tough.
So Austin Eckler, I would pay him.
See, I won't pay Eckler. I think, I don't know.
It depends on what we're paying as well, but
yeah.
We should probably move on to the guys that actually do get paid, though, the wide receivers, because there's 3 of us this week, and last week it took us a full 40 minutes to get through our top 10. So
yeah, do you want me to push my Packers off another week?
I know you've been wanting to do it.
I have. How about you set me a 5-minute timer? I'll get this bad boy done.
Yeah, you're at 2 minutes 21 seconds. 2 minutes 20 seconds.
All
right, go.
I just wanted to quickly, because we got training camp coming up this week, so just quick dive into the Packers rookies if anyone's not sure what we're going to be looking for in preseason games here soon. So really, I can maybe do some more on these guys later, but because we did have a lot of picks. So we drafted Lucas Van Ness first round. This guy's just a really strong D end. He'll play a little inside as well. He'll switch inside and out. A lot of people have really fast or really high expectations for him. He's 13th overall pick. I'm trying to temper my expectations a little bit because his main moves are power. I mean, he's pretty explosive and powerful, but like he doesn't have any good speed or outside agility moves, anything like that really yet. He's not super great with his arms, so we'll see. But really good relative athletic score, 9.39. Luke Musgraves, tight end we drafted. Super tall, super fast, super athletic. Tons of potential as a pass catcher. So we'll see. Jaden Reed, wide receiver we drafted in the second round. Really small dude, but super dynamic. He's really fast, really good, like run after the catch. Started 3 years at Michigan.
Michigan State.
Sorry, yes, thank you, Michigan State. Might even help us a lot on special teams, which we have the best special teams coach in the league. So then we drafted Tucker Kraft, another tight end. He played for South Dakota State, but I think he's pretty good pass catcher, but also a pretty good blocker. So he's going to be kind of like your dual threat tight end, where he's going to be an inline blocker a lot with, the ability to run out and make catches too. But Musgraves is going to be like the big catch kind of guy. Then we drafted Colby Wooden. He's just kind of a defensive front player, played some edge in college at Auburn. I think he can be okay. He was a 3-year starter, so I don't think he's ever going to be the guy. But I think he can start some games. Spot starter, good bench guy. 5th round, we drafted Sean Clifford, quarterback out of Penn State. No one knows why we drafted this dude.
Quicky, baby.
Yeah, apparently he's really smart and a nice guy, good guy. I'm not sure he's even going to make the team now because we just picked up.
I was going to say, they just signed a guy, didn't they?
That dude from the USFL,
yeah.
Alex McCaw or whatever.
2-time MVP or whatever.
Yeah, 2-time MVP of the USFL. So this dude might not even make the team now, but whatever. I mean, it's a lot of people didn't even think he'd get drafted, and we took him in the 5th, but whatever.
Then hating on him.
Hey, he knows how to play the game the right way. All right.
Yeah.
He has fun playing the game.
Yeah.
I can see him now.
He does it for the love of the game. He
does it for the love of the game. Like Favre.
Yeah, just like Favre did. He loved the game. He didn't play for the money. All right. Then in the 5th round, we drafted Dontavian Wicks. He's kind of a big play threat guy. 6'1", 206. I think if I'm remembering right, he did better the previous season than this last one, which happens kind of a lot. He was their like big X receiver. I don't know if he'll be that for us, but I could see him kind of being like an MVS role at his absolute peak. Then in the 6th, again, we drafted Carl Brooks. This dude was a stud. He played edge, but I'm not sure. I'm assuming he played at Bowling Green, which kind of is why he fell down so far. But he was an absolute stud in college, and he's like 300 pounds. I think that he's going to get moved to inside and maybe play on the edge a little here and there. But yeah, that dude is for a 6th-round pick. Keep your eye out on him. Then we drafted Anders Carlson. So if you know Daniel Carlson, the kicker in the NFL, this is his little brother. Daniel played for the Raiders when Rich Bisaccia was the coach there. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, because Anders Carlson wasn't that great in college. He's consistent within like 35-ish yards, but I don't think he's got much of a leg beyond that, especially 50 plus. So we'll see, I guess. I mean, as long as he makes extra points, I don't know. But yeah, so no more Mason Crosby. And then the 7th, we drafted corner Carrington Valentine. He's really long, had a good vertical. I don't see him being much more than special teams guy, but you never know. Out of Kentucky, played at a nice program, played against good teams, I guess. So had a really good relative athletic score, 9.3. And then we also in the 7th round drafted a running back, Lou Nichols. He's just a thumper. He's a thick kid. He's got really quick feet, and I think he can catch the ball a little here and there. So I played for, I think, Central Michigan, I believe. And then I think, we still got 2 more picks. We had 4 picks in the 7th round. Bryce is like, Jesus, hurry up. Anthony Johnson Jr. at safety again. I think he might have been a 4-year starter at Iowa State, which is really cool. So I can see why in the 7th round you pick a guy with just tons of reps and tons of experience. Again, probably just a special teamer, but we'll see. And then last but not least, we drafted a wide receiver, Grant Dubose. And I don't see him being much. He's probably going to be like an X receiver in the NFL where he's always lined up on the outside. He's got decent size, checks a lot of boxes for like size and athleticism and stuff, just not really great. Doesn't have a super great resume, but he played at Charlotte. So we'll see. But yeah, so just some names to keep out for as we approach training camp here. And then we're going to have some preseason football here soon. So the Packers drafted.
Now we're undrafted players that we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, right. So we just talked about the Packers drafted a handful of pass catchers, but we're going to move on to talking about some fancy football pass catchers here.
I will say, though, I'm excited for the tight ends. I will say
yes,
that.
Very much so.
You could have picked the tight ends. I gave you the option.
No, I'm saying about the Packers.
Yeah. There's a lot of good rookie tight ends this year, though. So that'll be.
I've heard that we're going to use a lot of 2 tight end sets, so I'm excited to see them if they're both out there.
I definitely see it. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I have a random number generator for our order we're going to go in. 1 to 100. Everybody pick a number.
55.
23.
Ooh.
85. All right, here I go. 66. So who's the closest? Doug, you want first pick?
Yeah. Wait, we're drafting?
We're not going to draft. We're just going to go in the order.
Okay.
So Doug's going to go first.
Okay.
So you say your top 10 and then whoever.
No, just my number one. Just my number one.
Oh, so then we go down.
Yep.
And Brock, since you're a guest, you can go second.
Okay.
Nice. Wow, what a good brother.
I guess I totally thought we were doing this totally different, but I'll roll with it.
What did you think? Maybe it'll be more.
I thought you're going to give your top 10, and then Bryce is going to give his top 10, and I was going to give my top 10.
Well, we're going to go 1-1-1, 2-2-2,
that works.
3-3-3.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I like your idea, but I have a bad memory. I'd be like, who'd you draft number 8 again?
I also want to do like a legit draft between the 3 of us.
Oh, yeah, that's like what I thought.
5 guys, but that's for next year.
There we go. Or a different position too, or just a different episode. All right, my number 1, Justin Jefferson. It was a debate between him and Jamar Chase. I just think Justin Jefferson is just going to get so many targets, just so much volume, especially now with Dalvin Cook being gone too.
Yeah. So I had a question. In our leagues, does drop balls or anything like that affect points?
No.
Nope. Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
I didn't think so either, but
no, incompletions don't. You don't lose points.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I got Justin Jefferson. He's just amazing. He's just so good, and he's going to get probably even more targets than before. So the only addition they made that was worth anything was Jordan Addison. So.
Right. So Brock, why are you also picking Justin Jefferson?
I am going Justin Jefferson as well. Pretty much what he said. And plus Adam Thielen's gone now too. So I think he's just going to get even more. But yeah, he's head and shoulders above Jamar Chase. So, Bryce.
So I'm picking.
I'm picking
Jamar Chase as my number one wide receiver, and there's reasons. So yes, Adam Thielen's gone. Dalvin Cook is gone. You know who the damn ball's going to. Double team him the whole game, and you should beat the Vikings.
Hey, Jordan Addison's going to be running like 155 miles an hour down the field.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about
He's going to be a threat. You must not get my joke. You didn't hear about Jordan Addison?
Oh, did he get a speeding ticket?
Yeah, man, that would have been way funnier if you guys got it. Jeez. Yeah, pretty much like a Henry Ruggs, except no one got hurt this time. He was.
Honestly, though, I think
nothing was like. You can't just say pretty much like Henry Ruggs. Nothing was like that situation.
So you're right. I'm sorry, but
so he's going my defense,
just stupid fast, and he got
So why I think Jamar Chase,
So
T. Higgins is going to be fighting for a contract as well, and he might be leaving the Bengals. I don't know. He's going to get just as. I think he's going to take up a lot of. There's so many weapons on the Bengals, and Jamar Chase, when it's late game, it's all every time it's like, oh my God, Jamar Chase got the ball again. How do we not know? Yeah, everybody's worried about Higgins. Everybody's worried about this guy, that guy. Somehow Jamar Chase came up with the big play.
Because he's that good.
And he's got the better quarterback by far. So,
well, I'll move into my number 2 because it is Jamar Chase. So, the only reason. So he's the best. I mean, him and Joe Burrow's the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the league. It's just with I would rank Jamar Chase as the number 1 receiver if this was dynasty football because of that connection. But Justin, I just think, like I said, the targets, and I think there's enough going on with the Vikings offensively that it'll draw some attention away. But we always say that too, when there's like only one good dude on an offense on a team, and we're like, oh, well, he's the only guy. They're going to like triple team him, but then they're still amazing because they're just amazing. It doesn't matter what you do. They're an amazing player. And Justin Jefferson is that. They do have TJ Hawkinson. Their defense is going to be awful this year. So they're going to be on the field a lot on offense. So the defense, honestly, is like a big reason why I picked him as well. They're going to have a bad defense, and I think they're just going to be Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson are going to be on the field a lot this year, and I think just sheer volume is why. But Jamar Chase, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah.
So
the bad defense though could be the opposite too. Like defense is bad. So
generally,
that's one way to look at it.
But Brock, who you got it to?
I would agree, Jamar Chase.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I was joking about him being Justin Jefferson being head and shoulders above Jamar Chase. I think it's those two at the very top, and then the rest, pretty much. So
yeah,
but yeah, I pretty much about everything you said. Jamar Chase is my number 2.
And Jefferson's it's 1A, 1B. I mean, you don't have a wrong choice. If you have the top 2 picks at wide receiver, I mean, you're going to be happy with either one you get. So
I put my top 10 inadvertently, but then I was kind of looking at my list. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it 3 tiers, and those 2 are tier 1. It's just those 2.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
It is amazing what Joe Burrow had at LSU.
Right. I was going to say that too. It still baffles me. They were all on the same team.
And
it's just crazy.
And he's got an amazing, receiving core now. Like the dude is just.
I mean, T. Higgins isn't far off. I
mean, when Tyler Boyd's your third guy,
best.
Man. So number 3 for me. So my next tier goes from player number 3 to player number 7. So I feel like these guys could all be interchangeable. Is Stephon Diggs. My biggest reasons why is, again, targets. They didn't make any major moves. They drafted a rookie tight end. Dawson Knox looks like he's going to be a stud, but tight ends never do anything as a rookie. Kyle Pitts and Evan Ingram aside, tight ends never do anything as rookies. So targets, and then this whole weird offseason drama they had for like a couple days with him not being happy with his role and whatnot. So I think they're also going to force feed him some targets based on that. So they might be worried he might be looking elsewhere when it comes contract time. I don't know, but hell, if that gets him 15 extra catches, then, and he's obviously still extremely talented and got, in my opinion, the best fantasy quarterback, which could make him a top 3 fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting because I think we might all have three different guys. So what do you got, Brock?
Yeah. I have Tyreek Hill. I think this category is kind of like, I think it's the first two are pretty easy to kind of choose from. And then I think there's like 3 or 4 are kind of bunched up together.
I have Hill at 4. So I feel you.
So I think Tyreek, I don't know. It's hard to, I mean, it's just Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think he's going to have another wrote same old.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what else I think he's going to get those home run balls. I think he's going to have another good year. And I just think, again, I think there's splitting hairs between these next couple, but I have him number 3.
And I have AJ Brown. Same reason Doug said. I had Jalen Hurts as my number 1 quarterback, fantasy quarterback. So same thing. He's got a good team. He's going to get a lot. He's just a very talented wide receiver. So again, we're splitting hairs. I also have Tyreek Hill at 4. So
yep, yeah, and so do I. So we can do the number 4. I mean, yeah, my argument's the same as Brock. It doesn't matter who. Like Tua's probably going to get hurt, and then they got Mike White. Mike White pads the stats,
right?
So like honestly, I don't think it's going to be bad for him either way. And as long as you can get the ball in his hands, it does the work for you. So
I do hope Tua stays healthy though. They were fun to watch when he was healthy last year.
I love Tua. Yeah, and
I hope he stays healthy.
That connection is great. Yeah,
him and Waddle and Hill are all. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
I think Tyreek Hill and maybe Jamar Chase might be the 2 best. Get them the ball and they'll do the work after they catch the ball.
Yeah, well, Jalen Waddle is too. Like,
Jalen
Waddle is underrated because the guy who's the best at what Jalen Waddle does is his teammate.
Yeah. Yeah. The fastest person in the league is his teammate, and he's the second fastest.
Legit. Like, he literally is Tyreek Hill, basically. Just, yeah. So, Tyreek Hill 4. So then.
My number 4 is Cooper Kupp. I do think him and Stafford, I hope, again, I'm kind of rooting for them to come back. I think they're going to be healthy, and I think the Rams are going to kind of revamp and kind of like from 2 years ago instead of last year's. I think Cooper Kupp's going to come back, and obviously he's going to get a lot of targets like he did that one year where he was clear-cut number 1 wide receiver.
Was he injured last year, right? Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
Him and Stafford were both. That's why they had such a crappy record.
Yeah. 5 wins,
Yeah.
I'll wait till I talk about Cooper Kupp. He is on my list, so.
Okay. Well, I said my 4 was Tyreek Hill. So
same. Yep.
Go ahead, number 5.
My number 5 is CeeDee Lamb. One of the biggest reasons, and it sounds weird when you say, like, I like this guy better because they added another wide receiver, but I think the addition of Brandon Cooks is going to really help him. It's going to draw some pressure off of him, and Brandon Cooks is a field stretcher. He spreads the D, and I think that just on its own is going to help open things up for CeeDee Lamb because he's more of a possession receiver, and an amazing route runner and great hands. So I think, and I mean, him and Dak have a great connection together. And everyone's like, whoa, Mike McCarthy says all he wants to do is run the ball. Now you still have to throw the football. And CeeDee Lamb's going to get plenty of targets. I think did he have double-digit touchdowns last year?
He was close.
He had a fantastic season. He had 9 receiving touchdowns, but he had 1,359 yards. So he had a great season. And I think he's just going to continue to be great. And having Brandon Cooks there to help draw some attention away from him will be a good thing. So my number 5.
My number 5 is Stephon Diggs. Pretty much everything like Doug said before. I do think he won't have as good a season as last year. I do think there's something to the offseason stuff a little bit more than but I don't think he's going to have a bad season. Like, he's obviously still top 5 wide receivers for me, but yeah.
Yeah, my 5 is Cooper Kupp. I'm just worried about injuries. Personally, I think tier 1 is debatable if Cooper Kupp is healthy. I think he could be right there with Jamar and Justin Jefferson.
If Cooper Kupp and Stafford are healthy.
Yeah.
Correct.
For PPR, I would agree.
And that's why I got to keep him in the top 5. He's at number 5, but he's in my top 5 just for that reason.
We are like PPR thinking PPR, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I assumed that. I guess maybe I shouldn't have, but I haven't done a non PPR league in years, so I just figured.
Yeah.
He just had one hell of a year when he was healthy. I mean,
It's
I got
historic.
to see it firsthand in the Super Bowl against my Bengals, so
Yeah.
he's got to be there. Number 5.
Yep.
My number 6 is AJ Brown. I kind of all the things that Bryce said. And I don't have any like diligent notes with him either. It's just he's a stud. He just goes up and gets the damn ball. And having Devontae Smith on the other side to draw some attention away is really nice. Jalen Hurts had an amazing season. I think he's just going to do just as good, if not better. Their off season has been good. So I mean, I think they're going to be just as good as they were last year, and that makes him arguably top 5 receiver, but definitely a top 10 receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have CeeDee Lamb number 6. Yeah, I don't. It's pretty much what Doug said before. I do think Brandon Cooks. I think that addition will help him out, but he's a clear cut number 1. He'll get majority of the targets. So.
Yeah, 6. I had Diggs, so I think we're gonna have the. I think we're gonna have the same top 7. Because I have CeeDee Lamb 8, so I have Diggs 7 or 6.
Actually,
Lamb 8. Or
we
7.
will not. We will not have the same top 7. We might have the same.
No,
maybe top 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wait, what was Bryce? Yours is 6 was Diggs. Okay.
Diggs, and then
yeah. My number 7. This is where my tier cuts off. Then, just for me, Garrett Wilson. I love this kid. I think he's so good. Bryce is already like, oh, I can't wait to combat that because he thinks the Jets are going to be awful. And if the Jets aren't that great, Garrett Wilson is still going to be great because Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade over Zach Wilson and then some. So even a bad Aaron Rodgers is so much better than a good Zach Wilson or an even whatever. Garrett Wilson's a stud. Like, I can see this dude by this time next year being in the conversation with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson if Aaron Rodgers is a little better than he was last year. He is so good. He is so good. I mean, and he might not be in this conversation just for fantasy production wise, but just being an elite receiver in the league. I think by the end of this season, he'll be a top 5, just considered top 5 elite receiver in the league, just pulling fantasy aside. I love the kid. Garrett Wilson.
I'll touch on Garrett Wilson once, maybe down the list. I have him. I don't know. My number 7 is AJ Brown. I don't think he's as good as Lamb and Diggs and Kupp because I think he does have other receivers on his team that they're going to take away from his targets. And I think overall he's Jalen Hurts is going to rush it in a lot more too than throwing it in. So, but I still think obviously he is top 10 compared to a lot of the other wide receivers. But that's why I have AJ Brown below like Lamb and Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had Lamb, so I mean he's kind of right there with the rest of 5 through 7. So
So the only difference in our top 7 so far is you guys have Cooper Kupp and I got Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Cooper Kupp not being in your top 7. Well, I understand it, but it's.
Well, I'll tell you now because he's my number 8.
Okay.
It was honestly, I almost wrote him down at number 5 with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
And I just like, man, the Rams were so bad last year. They were so bad. And him and Stafford's injuries just worry me. He is 30 years old. Is he 30 or going to be 30? He will be 30 at some point in this season. Cooper Kupp. And Stafford, man, like, he just worries me. And I don't even know who is the Rams backup.
The dude from Georgia now.
Stetson Bennett. That's right. Yeah.
There's somebody else too.
Maybe. Yeah.
He got drafted or picked up from him.
Right. But so that's what
the 30-year-old rookie.
Yeah, no good. Yeah. Who was the dude from Boise State? Was it Boise State? That was
Brandon Weeden from
Brandon Weeden. Yeah. One of the oldest.
Dude was like 32 and has 3 mortgages to pay off.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I get worried with the injuries and being 30 years old now. And like, who else do the Rams have on offense?
Yeah.
So Cam Akers might have a decent comeback season. I don't know, but Tyler Higbee's an average tight end. Van Jefferson, is that their number 2?
They had a bunch of like young people get playing.
Is Allen Robinson still there or no?
No, he went to.
Did he go? Yeah. Did he go to another team?
Pittsburgh?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. Whatever team he went to, I think he's.
I believe. I think he was talking about. I think he was talking about
the Steelers. It's the Steelers. Yep.
Yeah.
The only debate though.
Pickett at one point.
It's the same as Justin Jefferson thing. So
yeah,
he's gonna get all them targets.
He will. It's just he and his quarterback have to stay on the field.
That is true.
Isn't a super great bet at their age. So I love the dude. Don't get me wrong. If we're talking no injuries, he's top 5 without a doubt.
Yeah.
But you got to consider it for fantasy.
Yep.
Where are we at? Number 8.
Number 8, Brock.
Yep. Oh, my number. The next 2 I was kind of throwing back and forth. My number 8 is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Nice.
I think he's gonna have a really good year. I think he's the clear-cut number 1, especially for the first 6 weeks when what's his face is out. Yeah.
Yep. Jameson Williams.
Yep. So I just think he's gonna get a boatload of targets this year, and that's why he's a little bit above the person I have at number 9.
Bryce, we got at 8.
I got T. Higgins.
I knew he was going to be on your list.
I was waiting for it.
Yep.
You'll see with my number 9, their wide receiver 1 is in my top 5, and then they're arguably wide receiver 1 on any other team besides 5 teams. So T. Higgins, number 8.
Yeah. He was in the conversation to make my list, at least. I don't think I ever would have considered him, but I mean, at least he was definitely
he was just outside my top. He was like number 11, 12.
Yeah, he was in my thoughts and prayers. Number 9, I got Devontae Adams. I still think he is an elite level receiver in the league. I just don't like his quarterback. But gonna get
who is his quarterback?
Targets. Jimmy G. Hopefully,
that's right.
Garoppolo with a bionic arm.
Yeah. So, but Darren Waller's gone now. I mean, Josh Jacobs not going to play. I don't know. Probably will, but Devontae is just so good still, and I know he's approaching his age 30 season as well. This might be his age 30 season.
I don't know.
He's around that age. Let's see. I'll look it up. But regardless, he's getting up there. But again, I think he's still elite. And he's going to get a lot of targets for the Raiders. So Devontae Adams, number 9. He's already 30, by the way. Sorry.
Oh. I will do a little spoiler. I do not have Devontae in my top 10. I think Garoppolo will play a total of 4 games this year.
Yeah.
I also don't think he's very happy.
No, I think
honestly, part of my putting him in the top 10 is me thinking he might get to another team.
Okay, if he goes to another team, to another team, maybe, but I don't think he's going to have nearly the production he's had in the past couple of years. Even last year, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
My number 9 is Garrett Wilson. A lot of what you said, Doug, but I do think he has other targets that I think might take away from him. So that's why I put Amon-Ra St. Brown above him. But a lot of what you said before.
Nice.
I have Jalen Waddle at 9 for the same reasons as Higgins. And like we said before, if he catches the ball, he's going to run for extra yards. So
yeah. Yep.
And it doesn't really matter who's his quarterback. I mean, little 5-yard pass to him, they'll get you some points.
And a bonus with Waddle, if Tyreek Hill is injured,
right,
he could be the wide receiver 1 for that week. So
right,
Number 10, my number 10. Yeah, we got 5 minutes, by the way, boys. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yep, I was so glad Brock put him in there, and maybe Bryce will see. But
he's my number 10 as well.
Okay, cool.
I have Waddle as my number 10. So
nice. Well, there you go. But yeah, he's again going to get peppered with targets. I don't think Jared Goff's great, but I do think he's underrated. And like he's just gotten it done. I mean, right out the gate, Amon-Ra has been awesome. I think he's going to get peppered with targets until Jameson Williams comes back. And then when Jameson Williams does come back, it's going to help him even more, like, just to draw some attention away from him. So Marvin Jones came back, and they got, who else do they have at wide receiver? They have someone else that's fairly decent. But they just made that trade for Denzel Mims. So, and then they had Khalif Raymond, who scored like 90 touchdowns last year out of nowhere. But yeah, Denzel Mims, they just basically got him for free from the Jets. So I think that's a good gamble. I really wanted the Packers to draft him when he was coming out of the draft. So
yeah.
All right, who's your number 10, guys?
I had the same as you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and mine was Waddle. I will say I'll give 3 sleepers that I think might have a better year than people think.
Who do you got?
I got Chris Olave. I think he's going to have a better year with Carr as QB.
He's in my top 15. Yep.
Yeah. I think Calvin Ridley, I almost put in my top 10. I think him going to Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, I think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver down there. I think he's having a really good year.
I had to say, because last week I said Jacksonville's my 3rd best receiving core in the league. Yeah. I think that's what I said.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a couple Jacksonville guys in my top 15.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and then I think Amari Cooper might have another, I think one whole year with Deshaun Watson, he might.
I thought about Amari Cooper.
Not saying it, but I think he might have a better season than people are thinking.
I thought about Amari Cooper, to be honest. In my number 10 conversation was tough. Like I had Waddle. Yeah. I put Waddle and Olave as like my honorable mentions. So like that would be my 11 and 12, I guess. But I
really want to say Ridley for my number 10, but I was like, nah, I got to do Waddle. But
a couple of other guys. I mean, we didn't mention any Seattle guys. We didn't mention Deebo Samuel if the guy can stay healthy.
Yeah. I'm kind of over Deebo.
DJ Moore.
Yeah,
everybody's talking up the Bears.
I love DJ Moore. I just don't think Justin Fields is the passer yet.
Right. Who? I mean, there's a lot of good wide receivers.
There's
in the
so
league.
many. Yeah, doing a top 10 was tough. At least the last 8 through 10 were difficult for sure.
I mean, 1 through 50, I think you'll be happy with any of those guys on your team.
Yeah.
I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster on 2 of them that I've looked at is ranked number 50 in the league. And he's a damn good he's a good wide receiver though.
I think he's overrated, but that's just me. Well, we got 1 minute left. Do you guys, anyone want to give your wide receiver advice so I can write it down before we do our fantasy draft? Or
fantasy guys, don't watch this.
Yeah, right.
I don't want all my guys picked right before I'm up.
Remember, this was redraft, so this is not our dynasty league. But
that's all I got.
Bryce, you got any last words? Any last words?
I just hope Jamar Chase proves that he's the best wide receiver in the NFL this year.
Yeah, not happening.
I think he will.
I mean, he definitely could. So you're splitting hairs between those two for sure.
Or if he's not, maybe Justin Jefferson gets upset, comes to Cincinnati.
I will say the one. Yeah, there you go.
We'll give you T. Higgins for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, you wish. Just really quick, with one thing I've learned and looking at, like you just said, the top 50 is like really good. I mean, you got a lot of good wide receiver options.
Yeah.
Just fantasy drafting advice. You don't always have to go like 3 wide receivers to start your draft. So,
no.
I just watch out for Denver. They might have some guys that come out of nowhere if Russell Wilson just is 50% of what he was in his prime Seattle days.
Yeah. Got to do more jumping jacks on the plane. All right, boys. That's all the time we got.
Let's ride.
Brock, thanks for riding. Thanks for riding with us.
Let's ride.
All right. We'll see you again.
Thanks, boys.
All right. Peace out, guys. Bucks and 6.